everyone, Monica here. Today I'm working on this project. I've had this Somerset Life magazine, I think it's Somerset Life. Yeah, it's Somerset Holidays and Celebrations for 2 years now. And when I got it, it has a lot of great ideas for Christmas and Halloween. And I'm not somebody that makes a ton of Halloween decorations just because my kids are grown up and, I just don't. And I find I like to make them, but unless it's something that I'm going to be keeping year after year after year, I don't make them. So I saw this book. It's called The Witch's Travel Kit, and I fell in love with this. So I have been sort of hoarding papers and embellishments and things in this drawer specifically to make this book so that I could have it. And every year Halloween comes, for the past 2 years, it's always right in the middle of my craft sale, and I'm busy doing all of those items for the craft sale that I can't justify taking the time to make this. But this year, darn it all, I'm making this book for me. So this is what it looks like. Can you see? And it's got all these embellishments all over it and just all this yumminess. And it says here, this Witch's Travel Kit was created in order to make life a bit easier for all of those strong and dedicated women who believe that magic is real and live their lives accordingly. Slipped into a briefcase or a handbag, the kit is perfect magical accessory for today's modern witch on the go. Sleek, black, and made from stain-resistant microfiber material. Melted wax peels off in a flash. The Witch's Travel Kit, once discovered, will quickly become the must-have item of the season. I love the way they describe that. So what it is basically, if you were a Halloween witch and you needed basically your little guide and your little book as to how to fix things, so I think it would be an awesome coffee table, item, and a great conversation piece, and I just think it'd be awesome. So I am making this today. And it's just chock full of fun, really cool things. So it's not something, for me, I would only make it once, but I think it's something you could have for years and years and years, and I know my grandchildren will get a real kick out of these. So they said to start off with a date book, and we were at the Goodwill the other day, and I happened to find one of these old, these old things. And theirs is made the exact same way. If you can see the binder holes right there? So it says to take the date book, take some of the, whoops, is some stuff in there? Take all the pages out of it, which I did. And it says to restore those pages and use them as templates for some of your pages. So I'm trying to find, I don't know where I put the, oh, here they are. Some of them you can use, and some of them, like personal information, I could make that all witchy-like. And the maps and things like that. Like, you could use these, doctor them up, and make them work. And these were the templates that were in there. And each one of these is really cool because it has a pocket in it. So this was in this already. And then these plastic sheets. So I don't know what I'll do with that. But what I am going to do is I am going to... And then there's a zipper here, and you're supposed to put a candle in here, like a candle that's been dipped, with a string on it, and a feather, and a wand, and all those. So I'll put that in the zips. And then I am going to cover this right now. I have all of these Halloween napkins. Now, I don't necessarily want it to say Halloween, but I love the black and this scrolly thing. So I'm just going to collage the cover of this folder booklet, I guess. I'm going to collage the cover of this booklet with Mod Podge and these napkins. So I'm going to get that done right now. And then I've got these amazing black roses to embellish it with. I think it is going to be such a fun project. I'm so looking forward to putting this together. So I've got my cover already Mod Podged, and this is kind of more of a primitive look right now. I just wanted to cover up the initial burgundy vinyl of this case. I love this. I even covered inside. I'll try to pan out a little bit so you can see. Oops. I covered the inside pockets here, and then I took my razor here and sliced down the opening. So there's one there, two down here, and three on this side. And where you can still see the remainder of that burgundy, I figured I'm going to leave this ID thing here to sort of identify me, or which this book belongs to, should it be lost or something like that. And so I'm just going to take some black acrylic paint, touch up all of this burgundy trim, and then I am going to Mod Podge the entire thing again, just to really seal everything in. And so then I'll put this all aside to dry and work on the inside. So I've put my book aside to dry, and now I'm working on some of the inside pages. So I didn't have any old manila folders so I could make into pages, but I wanted to make some all grungy and old and looking like The Witch That I Am, the book that I've had for 8,000 years. So my trick is balsamic vinegar, and I just picked this up from the dollar store. And first I start by just dribbling it randomly all over the pages and the insides, whatever. Then I take my whole manila folder and I just dump it into a bowl that's been mixed with some instant coffee. There's about, I would say, 2 tablespoons of instant coffee. I don't fill it up with a lot of water because I want the concentration of the coffee. I don't want to have to waste a lot of coffee on this part. And you can just feel the paper break down as you put it into the water. So it doesn't take long, look. And where I pre-stained it before, retains those really unique splotches and stains. And then I just kind of wring it out a little bit, and then I'll show you what I do. I pop it in the oven on 250 degrees and let it dry out on racks like that for about a half an hour. Ooh, the camera's steaming up. So I let it dry out on racks in the oven for about a half an hour at 250 degrees. And then once they're dry, I will cut them and punch the holes into the shapes that I want for my book. So this is what my pages look like. I used 1, 2, 3, 4 manila folders, and I ended up with all of these pages in the book. So they're all different. You still see some of the manila thing, but I will be putting different embellishments in the book, and some of the pages have little tears in them, but look how old this looks. And some of them were in a little too long. I love how that looks. It looks like, oh, the witch threw her book in a fire by mistake. Like, look at this. I had to get it out. So I cannot wait to finish embellishing this book because the pages right now are awesome. So I'm going to be adding some Velcro as a closure here. And then remember, I'm going to be embellishing it with the black roses and stuff. So yeah, that's it so far. So here, without any further ado, is my Witch's Traveler's Guide. Any fashion-forward witch should have this with her before she goes on any project. I had so much fun making this. I can't even tell you the detailing and the inspiration that I got from the Somerset Life magazine. The inspiration I received from Georgianne Carlson, who was the originator of the one that I was inspired to create it from, is just awesome. Apparently Georgianne is has her master's in women's studies and believes that all art, she's also a mixed media artist, and believes that all art is political and magic is everywhere. So like I said, it's from Somerset Holidays and Celebrations, and this isn't your typical mini book. It is more like I mentioned before, a coffee table piece, and it's just, I love it, and I've been wanting to make it for 2 years, and I'm so glad that I did. So I'll go ahead and describe what I did for the cover. So you saw how I covered the actual, that pocketbook thing with napkins and Mod Podge. Then I used, you know the drip wax, sealing wax? I dripped it all around the edges, all the way around the front and the back. That took a bit of time because I had to be really careful because I had to hold it quite close to the napkin and I didn't want to start a fire, you know. Although a little burnt edges would have added to the whimsy of the book. Here I have, this is simply a bookmark that I had. And so I just stuck it between the pages. A lot of this stuff is just old jewelry that I had. So I've got a little bell there. That's an old piece of jewelry, same as the cross. And this moon, I have had this forever. My nickname is Moon. Used to be Moonica, and it got shortened to Moon. So I have so many pieces that are moons. And that I just attached it to the brad, with a brad, an orange glittery brad, to the flowers. These flowers I got, I can't even remember, I think at the dollar store a couple of years ago. And I just touched them up with purple stickles. Can you see that? For the closure, again, I had this skeleton hand. On the handle here, I've attached this bottle of potions. It's all wired on, just in case I should need to give some potion to someone. And what I've done with a lot of this is I added a little bit of water in here, and I can refill this because I'm going to tell my grandsons they can try the potions and things like that. That'll just make it more interactive. And then on the handle, I glued this hand and then attach Velcro underneath, so it has a really, really great closure. So that's the front, and I'll show you the back. It's pretty similar. There's the back. So on the inside of our manual here, on this first page, because this was like a wallet or one of those daytimer things with binder rings, it had lots of pockets in there, which lended it to having more fun with this. So originally I covered up the zipper with Mod Podge and napkin, but I had to peel it away because I forgot there was a little pocket in there I could use. So inside of my pocket here are some of my witch's tools, which I should have got a tripod, but I'm sorry. My quill pen, and of course my candle for all of my spells. And I found this was a clip-on earring, and I melted the candle with my embossing gun and pushed it in and then melted the candle, so it's really in there. So it's just an old white candle with the moon on it. And then over here, this is the most important part, my ID. So here is the birth certificate. It's very old. It's from 1750, so you can well imagine how old and fragile this is. So it says, witch's name Mariposa, a.k.a. Mary Avalo, Little Butterfly, was born to father unknown, mother unknown on October 13th at midnight. Gender, female, 5 pounds 12 ounces. The date, circa 1750. So just in case someone questions your ID. And then, of course, all witches must have a frequent flyer card. So that's in there. So I would imagine after you get so many points, not sure what you get, but... So here's the front page, the title page, and it says, The Crafty Witch's Enchanted Book on Spells, Potions, and Everything Magical. So I found this online and printed it out. I had to size it for my book and then print it, and I printed it in sepia. And so I just inked it with black ink. And then there's a little spiderweb glittery sticker there and on top and on the bottom. On this page is a bit of a guidebook, just in case our witch forgets the chakra points and what they mean. So here is all the chakra, the crown, and what they all stand for. And on this page is the skeleton with all the chakra points pointed out and then little bling to represent the chakra colors. So it says stamped chakra locations, and this is the Tim Holtz stamp, that skeleton one. And again, all these pages were distressed, and I showed you the combination of my coffee, balsamic vinegar blend, and my paper. These are the papers, those file folders that were brand new, but after being baked and stained, they are very, very vintage. And every page was treated with Mod Podge, so it gives it that leathery old feeling. On this page, these are the witch's harvest of things she needs for different spells. So on the back here, it says all of these things. For example, wintergreen is healing and protection, wheat, fertility, violet, so on and so forth. So here's some calendula that I went and actually got out of my garden. And here is some pine. And I put them on these top note label things and inside of parchment bags and then just sealed them closed. Here's some rosemary. So they still have their scent, which I'm sure that won't last though. And here's some wintergreen mint. And this is a scarab, and it just says my harvest. Over here, this is beware, so I don't think we're supposed to go in this pocket. But right now there's nothing in there, but I would imagine this would be the results of the spells. And this was just a piece of junk jewelry that I found, and I thought it was perfect for the skeleton's eye. And if you notice in the background all these stripes, I bought some really cool stencils. There was 5 in a pack for $4 at IKEA, and they're meant to be on top of cakes to dust icing sugar, but I used them, I laid them down and then just sprayed the pages, and I think they look really cool. And this page is just simply the kind of anatomy of a butterfly or a moth. And then here there's Nevermore, a crow, and then just a metallic adornment. And then at the top, it was from my journaling stack. I added, what piece of wisdom or advice would you like to pass on? Always have your broom at the ready. Very important. On this page, it has a picture of a witch that was just some clip art. And then here I used some journaling stacks I had. And it says the Sabbats, which are the seasons in witchcraft or Wiccan calendar. And so it has the date and the title when they take place. And then this is the map or the guide of the year. So there is a little piece of jewelry that I have that looked kind of witchy. And then it says, these holidays are not of history, they are of nature. Right here was a found book of spells. So it's a book within a book. And so I think it might be stuck together here. Let's just see if we can open it. There, and there's the poison apple spell and the peddler's disguise. It's quite old and fragile with frayed paper. And so I just hung this tree charm and add a little metal, and this is one of those clear things. And then there's a key at the bottom. And on this page, again, anatomy of insects. And in this little necklace here, this is actually real. This is a scarab beetle. And I have had this forever. I didn't want to alter the necklace too much, so I just hooked it on the binder ring and clipped it up there with an old clothespin. Here we have some family portraits, and it says beware. You can see them there. The two gentlemen were obviously relatives of this witch, and their faces change, as you can see. There's scary stuff. See? And then down here's just some text. And this is flight directions for our witch's broom. And it's like a compass. Over here is some music to the witch's dance. And here is just a tag, and it says, moonlight potions, moon dust, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, all fail in comparison to our best-selling moon dust. And then there's a spider, and this spider came from those flowers that were on the cover. It was tucked in there, and this says exactly the same thing on this side. And here again is some anatomy of beetles and bugs and poison, hocus pocus. And it says danger there. On this page, goodness, this is where our witch makes her wishes. So this background paper, I think, is Martha Stewart or My Mind's Eye. I'm not sure. It's got the little witch on there. And then this is just a black bag, crumpled up and distressed with wishes stamped, and this seal. And here we have our magic wand that I created with the glue and the beads. It should be stuck in like that. And in here, it's a little container, and there's some wishes rolled up on that piece of paper right there. On this page is the wish list, another one of those spider webs. And the wish list, wishing for wellness, bountiful herbs, happiness, a faithful cat, a swift broom, and spells that work. And for my broom here, I just used some ropey twine and then some brown craft paper that I all frayed all up. So I've got her hat and her broom there. So that's the wishes page. On this page, I just found this in a Grimm's fairy tale book. It said Frederick and Catherine, and it describes this couple, who they were. And so there was a picture, another one of those stickers with those scary people. So there is Frederick and Catherine. And it just, you know, it changes to scary. And then I was going to write, and I forgot, circa 1700s. I'll do that later. Trip information. Very foggy on North Flight. On the date, clear night, flight with full harvest moon. So these are all the flight, her information, her travel journal, as it were. And a raven from the Tim Holtz stamp set, and just a brad. On this page, we have a vellum green envelope, and it says Secret Spells, and it is sealed with sealing wax and some bling. And if you look through the envelope, you can see some kind of hieroglyphics that obviously are the words to the secret spell. And on this page, what every witch needs is some purification salt. And so there's this spoon. I got this at a vintage store, and it just looks so mystical. I knew I'd find a use for it. And we've got some salt in here. So again, it's coarse salt, and it's Jamie Oliver salt. It's shaped really differently. And so I sealed it so that, again, if the kids want to just taste it, they can. So it's purification of salt that goes in there. And this label was just a label from something I bought, but it's got the sun or moon face in there. And then the very back page is exactly the same as the front. It's just a little bit smaller and a lot more ink blobs on it. I forgot to add that I have, of course, I think it's called a pentacle or pentagon. I'm not sure, because I'm not really a witch. But the star at the bottom there, I had it downstairs on my table and I forgot to put it on. So there you have my witch's handbook. So should any of you witches out there need to do some spells or go on a journey, feel free to borrow it. As long as you bring it back, I don't mind. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I can't tell you how much fun I had making this. And it's going to sit in the middle of my piano right here as my, probably, other than a jack-o'-lantern, my one and only Halloween decoration. First thing you see when you walk in the door. So thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.